and welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back once again.
I'm Colin and this is Paul, and our channel is Mr. and Mr. Vlogs.
So as promised, if you watched our previous vlog regarding coffee, Colin is making for you a sumptuous coffee treat.
This guilty pleasure that we have, that I like to make, is Café Cubano, or what everybody knows as Cuban coffee. I'm making this because it's part of my culture, because in case you don't know, I was born in Havana, Cuba, and Paul, you were born in the Philippines.
Yes, so this makes a Filipino-Cuban American household.
Mm-hmm. So
proudly so.
So in this household, we do a lot of cultural things, a lot of cooking and so on, that in both our cultures, Filipino and Cuban. And in this particular instance, I'm going to be showing you part of my culture, which is Cuban coffee. I've set up here on the table the items that I'll be needing to use for the coffee. Of course, you got the little espresso cups here, or the cafecitos. You have a stirring spoon with sugar, which I'll get into a little bit later on. You have a scoop for the espresso powder, and the espresso that is commonly used in Cuba is this one right here, the Café Bustelo. And the last thing that you'll be needing is, or what I'll be using, is a measuring cup. Again, later on, I'll show you why I'm using this.
And instead of using the electric espresso machine, we are actually going to use stovetop espresso, and it is actually called, as Colin's saying, this one is called mocha.
This is called the mocha pot, which, by the way, the mocha pot originated from the Yemeni city, port city of Mocha, and Mr. Bialy, who was an inventor, actually came up with this in the 1930s, and it became such an item that it became popular all over the world, and very popular, especially in Europe, to this day.
So basically, it's gonna do the exact same thing as the electric one, but this is going to be, like I said earlier, on a stovetop. Alright, so let's get going with making you this delicious, sweet Cuban coffee.
Olé. Alright, now that we're here, first things first is you've got the coffee maker. So first step is we need to take it apart. You unscrew it just like this. It's very easy. And you'll find here's where the coffee is going to be at, the coffee basket, and the water reservoir. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to fill the coffee up to that little nub right there. So you see where it's right there at that little nub. Next thing is you're going to fill and pack your coffee basket. I like to put it over a container here because I tend to be a little messy sometimes. So you're going to pack it in there. You're making sure that it's well tamped down, otherwise the coffee would be too watery. And Cuban coffee is known to be bold, sweet and bold. So you need that boom boom. Alright, now that you have that, make sure it's nice and clear there, so you have a nice seal, and you're going to just drop it right into there. Now, on your coffee urn itself, very important, this needs to be dry, dry, dry. So you make sure that it is nice and dry. In this case, humidity is certainly not your friend. Why do we need it dry? Is that the drier it is, so when the coffee actually goes in there, you'll have the more richer and more full flavor. So now that you've got that, you're just going to screw it together And there you have it. Now you're going to put it on the stove top. Make sure that your heat is not too high, and it's a little off center, so the handle is not over the flame. Remember, this is plastic, so it, as you see,
If you noticed, we made some boo-boos.
and then you're going to open up the lid. Why are we doing this? Well, because as the coffee comes in from the top here, you want to get that first little bit of coffee when you're making your mixture, because that's your black gold. That is your Texas tea that you want. That's going to give you your rich, bold flavor. Now while that's doing, now you have a little bit of extra work that you're doing over on this side. Your mixing container, you're going to put in at least 4 teaspoons of sugar. It doesn't have to, it could be heaping if you wish, but it's going to be at least 4. The reason is that as this mixes up, this is what's going to create your foam with the coffee.
We'll come back when we're ready for the next step.
Boy, look at that. You see it's starting to come out. See how dark and rich it is? That is your liquid gold. That is what's going to give you your best coffee. Now watch what I do now. I'm going to pour in just a little bit. Should be just about that much. And I'm going to put this back on so it can finish brewing. And now you've got some work to do. Now at this point, you're just going to stir. Actually, I'm going to put just a little bit more coffee in there.
So you're looking for a certain kind of texture with this, right?
Yes. Now, if you've noticed the color, now the color is kind of like a dark caramel color. The more that you stir it, you start to see how it changes color. It's now getting a little lighter. This is going to create that real lusciousness that you're going to have with your Cuban coffee. So you're going to work, stir. The more you stir, the better it's going to taste, the more robust. Oh, and I can hear that coffee. It's going, it is just sounding and smelling so good. All right, so this is pretty good now. So you see, it's kind of, so you see the texture that you're looking at here. Okay, now, I'm going to take this. Look at that rich coffee over here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. All right, now I'm going to pour all of this into the glass
the mixture.
And now you're going to gently stir. You're going to stir this to get rid of all, until you feel all of that sugar dissolve and go away. See that rich foam there? Boy, I'll tell you what. That looks good. Take your spoon and you want to tap it a bit. This is going to get rid of some of the bigger bubbles and create more of your froth. Sounds silly, but I'm telling you, it's going to be good. Okay, now we're going to go back on over to the table. And I'm going to now pour this out. I'm going to do it in a motion, and I'm going to be shaking it a little bit as I'm going along. And look at how it comes out here. Look at that, look at that, look at that. There you go. So right there, my friends, is our Cuban coffee waiting for you to experience a little bit of my culture, Cuba. Well, here it is, the final product, our Cafe Cubano.
Cubano on our little cafecito.
Cafecito. So let's try
See,
it.
Wow. Marvelous. It's on the sweet side, but it blends pretty well with how intense espressos are, because you know, with an espresso coffee, it's always kind of dark and robust, but with the sweetness that is incorporated in it. And when he was mixing the sugar on that first drips of coffee, it actually caramelizes the sugar, and so it has that caramel taste. It's really good.
As Cubans, coffee is a big part of the culture. So we drink coffee all day long, all night long, in various forms. This type of coffee, because of its more sweet, it's good for evening time, after meals, maybe for a special time in the afternoon. Do like a high tea but a high coffee. There you have it.
Hope you enjoyed that trip to Cuba
Yes,
on our coffee table.
and try it. Leave a comment for us. Tell us how it went.
And for those who haven't already, please subscribe and hit that bell so that you can get
The notification.
notifications on the videos that we put in.
So other than that, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
And enjoy your coffee time as we are.
Ole.
Yummy.